Hi everyone and welcome to the kitchen here at Asta's Place. I'm in the kitchen for one reason. We had a flood and I've got the men in downstairs, so I've had to come to the kitchen, but we will be there in due course. Today I'm here to help Nancy. Nancy's getting married and she was looking for something pink and delicious, and she fell upon my Wedgewood Blue by Asta and asked if I knew how to create the beautiful pink that they create there at Wedgewood. She also agreed with me that the vases that they have are a little bit too small and she wants something very big, lush and delicious with pink roses, and the pink of the Wedgewood is exactly what she wanted. So Nancy, great news. Here is the vase. Now it's not quite the same as what they do at Wedgewood, but we all know that to copy is not good and plagiarism could get me into a lot of trouble. However, it's all right. Let me just share how to get this colour paint. First step is make your chalk paint, just a plain ordinary chalk paint. That's 1/4 cup of water, 1/4 cup of plaster of Paris, and you put that into a cup of plain matte acrylic paint. Give it a good mix so that there's no lumpy bits in it, because if there's lumpy bits in the chalk paint, then the lumpy bits will transfer to your vase, and we don't want that. Now the colour is, when you get the white, you then add, who knew, scarlet. Scarlet is the colour that you use, or in other words, magenta. Magenta, any kind of magenta will do. If it's still not right, add a bit of violet into it and you'll bring it down to this colour. Right, mix that really, really well. And the reason why, see there's still a few lumpy bits in there. Those lumpy bits are not good, so you need to get rid of those. So I know that I can rely on you to do that. And then the reason why I undercoated it in the white was, it just means that when you put your colour, the pink or the magenta over the top, you get a nice coverage. Otherwise, you're going to have to do 4 to 5 watery coats until you build up the colour. Now it looks quite light there, but when it dries, it does dry up a little bit darker. So leave that to dry in between coats, and the best way moving forward is to leave the coat 24 hours or overnight and then have another crack at it. And very, very light colours until you build up to the colour that you want. And here it is. Now the other little tip I have from you, I've been a little bit rough since I did this, and you can see that there's a little bit of a little blemishy bit there. Actually, that's where the paint has come off. The reason that came off is because there was a little lumpy raised bit, so I picked it, and as a result of picking that up, I have taken the paint off from underneath. That's why when you're doing it, use your white undercoat first, and that will give you even more of a base in which to stick your top coat. Also, keep a bit in reserve, because if you need to touch that up, you can go back and touch it up, and that'll just cover away nicely, and I'll probably have to go back and do another coat on top of that. Right, once you have done that, let that dry, as I said, for 24 hours, getting rid of that over to there. Then you can put your embellishments on, and this is the latexy stuff. You can get this all over the world. Look into places like Amazon or eBay, you can find those, or you can do the molds and do them yourself. At the same time that you're doing this, use the white paint that you use for undercoating and give this a couple of coats. Then to fix this onto the vase, you need to use a latex glue, and I found that what is this? Hold on, F2. The F2 multi-purpose contact adhesive was the best one. A coat onto here, a coat onto here, and you might need to just use a pencil to just mark exactly where that's going to go, so that when you glue this side, and then when you bring those two together, then they will stick like you could never imagine, like this. And around here, you'll see this little bit here. See how I've got that little bit that isn't quite raised up, that's raised up? You might need to use just like a satay stick or something, and put a little bit of glue on both sides, and then just bring that together and hold it until all of your surfaces are flat and fixed. Now, Nancy, your flowers. You asked whether you could use fresh with the artificial? I'm going to say yes, you can, because the guests won't know. Now this is the vase, the exact same dimensions of the vase that you are wanting on your tables. I've just got another little tip for you. If you're putting them onto perspex cubes as you intended, make sure that they're quite high, because once you get the flowers into here, remembering that it's 1.5 times the height of the container or the width, whichever is the greatest. This is a big opening cavity here of about 8 inches, so it's going to need lots and lots of flowers, so you can cheat it by putting in the artificial. And the other thing that I do is, not many roses, unless they're garden roses, have a really beautiful fragrance. What I do is I just mist them with a little floral fragrance that I've made up. I'll put a link down to where you can find that. Okay, so here are your roses, and I've just gathered everything into my hand. There's all different sizes here, and I've done them randomly because that's what you said. You wanted the whole arrangement to look like you just went outside and picked them. Now, once you get them all into your hand, just put your hand down like that, or put them down onto the surface, and then just gently release these, and then just lift these up ever so slightly, so that you've got some just a little bit higher and a little bit lower. And then let me just have a look and see where we're going here. See, that's a bit too low, so just lift that up. And the reason this is low is because some of the stems are a little bit shorter. If you want the buds to be a little bit higher, just lift those up, and then using a cable tie, just bring the cable tie around, and oops, wrong way. Bring your hold them together with a cable tie, and then you'll know that they're not going to fall down. Okay, and get my scissors. Sorry about this, everyone. I forgot my scissors, but we've got kitchen scissors are always handy. Okay, so cutting that bit off there, and then that can just go into there like that. Now, if that's still sitting up a bit like that, like I've got there, Nancy, you weren't sure about foliage. What I would do now is I would put some ivy tendrils to come out the side, and if that's still not going the way that you want, the only other way that we can solve this is to cut that off, plonk those into the container like so, and then add in a few more roses. But it just depends. You said you wanted something that was big and massive. You also said that you wanted all pink. The reason I've used the white is because I think that because you've got the white embellishment onto your exterior of your vase, it's quite nice to bring that up and into your arrangement. How's that? Easy, easy, easy flowers. But don't forget, Nancy, do bring them up, because if I'm sitting here and somebody's over there all night, we're going to be doing this. So just by raising it high, the guests can see through it. I hope you've enjoyed this, Nancy, and I hope that I have helped and solved your problems. I'll see you all again another day. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.